Greetings, tube dwellers, and welcome to Starcraft 2! I'm not going to be doing a first-person video today, and I'm not going to be doing a live first-person. I guess if it's not first-person, you already know it's not live first-person. I'm going to be doing a replay commentary. This is a game that I played a couple days ago. You can see here this season snapshot. Like I say, 26. When did this season start? This season started like 3 weeks ago. Yeah, obviously. Not as many games played as I would like. My opponent is going to be a Diamond Terran, a Tarku. Looks like he plays quite a bit of 2 versus 2. Actually, it looks like he's played slightly more 2 versus 2. I wonder if he has a team. Mystery Meat. That's funny. The map is Ohana Eli. I am your red Protoss hero that we'll see in the bottom right of Ohana Eli. And the Tarku, the blue Terran, be chilling in the top left. Now, Ohana is a map that I like quite a lot in Protoss vs. Terran. And I actually had a Protoss vs. Terran with these exact positions that I did a first-person video of. I think I mentioned these exact same points there, but I'll go ahead and say it again. Places like this and like this, little back corners, both sides of this grass. There's a lot of little nooks that you can fit a pylon into. This one will be seen easy, but it's so close to the front. That's just such a short distance to get to that natural. It looks like I'm going to scout directly after my first pylon. But just the number of places that you can fit a proxy pylon in a little nook that Terrans don't scout so much. It's not as easy on this map to get a proxy pylon away from Zerg, because although there are a lot of little nooks, it's not a whole lot of space to cover. And with Zerg, I mean, they can cover nooks and crannies kind of easy just with Overlord flight paths. And with Zerglings running around here and there, the barracks goes down. It looks like he's doing a 12 racks, totally standard. Wonder if we'll see him get gas here in a second. He is going up to the 13, so if he were going to do it, it would be this 75 minerals he'd do it with, because he'd still get another 50 to queue the next worker. It doesn't look like he's going to do the gas. He did go ahead with the next queue. Of course, he is focusing a little bit on my super elite probe harass on his SCV. He even spent some time repairing the SCV up a little, which is cool. That's a really good move on his part. That keeps me from going back in and getting the one-shot on it. Looks like I am going to go gas. Got the gateway down. I'm not sure exactly which chrono boost I used. I think I used 2 right around the gateway timing. 1 when the first pylon finishes, then the second chrono boost right after I plant the gateway. So, standard on both sides, and sure enough, there's no gas, so we're thinking expansion here. And I saw that kind of early on. I saw it around the time that he should be dropping it as I went back up in his base to pursue the SCV. So I'm going to assume that that is the order for the day, that he is going to be going with a gasless fast. Now, he could be doing something like a Makarax. He could throw a barracks over here, and he could just come at me with like 6 to 8 Marines. That can be really devastating to a Protoss, especially if they skip this first Zealot, which it appears as though I am going... Oh, nope, I canceled it. I am going to skip that first Zealot. This gives me enough money to go a little bit more quickly to my Nexus. Now, I know there for a while I did a build where I skipped this pylon. I did get the Zealot and the Stalker, and then I built a Nexus as quickly as possible. Let myself get food blocked at 26. The Stalker comes out, the probe stops at 22, and then get the Nexus out ASAP. That build, any kind of early pressure from Terran is really damaging. If he does anything with the 2 racks, it is really difficult to work against it at all. You normally end up losing the Nexus for getting it that early, and I don't know, it's just, it feels risky in general. So I'm getting the Nexus pretty quick still. I should be continuing my probe production here. It is bad to hiccup on probes, as you will see. He has only 2 workers behind me. That's not ideal, because this mule that easily takes his income up above mine. Although I am getting gas, he's getting no gas still at this point. I actually just now finished both refineries, so that'll be picking up. With just 1 racks out, getting those 2 refineries that fast, that indicates that he wants to follow up basically immediately with a factory and then add on more racks later, if that's his choice. I'm sure he's going to go heavy on the racks, as bio is the accepted norm composition in Terran versus Protoss. So I've gone up to a second gateway here, and I'm adding the robotics facility very quickly. Now, a lot of times Just 2 gates means I feel kind of safe. You would normally go up to a 3rd if you expected some kind of early pressure, or even like a 3 racks follow-up, or even like the 2 racks push or anything. The 3 gates does really good against it. But just 2 indicates that I don't really expect any kind of marine pressure. And getting this faster would ensure that if he follows up with Banshees, which they'd be way late even if he did, because I saw that he didn't get his gas early. He probably couldn't even have him by 7:30. But having this and having the observer out, this will actually let me get an observer to his base by the time Banshees could potentially be a threat. So this indicates that I want to kind of tech heavy though. I would go ahead and get the gateways out at that timing if I was planning on doing something largely gateway focused. Now you see that he actually did, instead of factory first, he did go tech wise. He went for the engineering bays though. That's very interesting because that means heavy upgrades. It actually looks like, I don't know about this timing, it looks like he'll probably be done with these before the factory and an armory can finish. So he probably won't be able to start 2 and 2 immediately. But he may be able to start it pretty quick. He'll obviously have 1-1 way faster than me, as I still don't even have a single forge, which could be nasty. That makes for some very nasty Terran bio. He does only have the 1 tech lab, and he's started stim. That's good. That means he's going to have a timing that likely has stim and combat shield. Oh, does not want the reactor. And here I'm going to come in and spot. And he is throwing down that armor immediately. Actually, is this timing that good? Ooh, his timing is really good on these, especially if he has this gas saved up. If he doesn't spend any more gas, he should have it by the time these 2 upgrades are done, and he'll be able to start 2-2 immediately. That could be huge. Having 2-2 that fast, that is a very fast 2-2. He's not going to have, and he's still not going into the starport, which is good, because if he did, he wouldn't have this gas. And a matter of fact, he's a little off on the gas timing, but it's still really close. I'd like to see him start those very quickly. That means he's going to delay his medevacs, though, and just go really heavy on infantry. And here we see my tech path fleshing out. I'm going to go Colossus. I'm going a very quick Colossus. And after spotting his double engineering bay, I'm whipping out a double forge of my own before adding more gateways. Now, normally, even if I went to Colossus this fast, I wouldn't feel safe enough just on the Colossus without whipping out a couple more gateways and getting some gateway production going. But given that I had the Colossus so fast, and I've seen that he's investing real heavy in this tech, it looks like I'm feeling safe to do the same. So there's my 1-1 started. My 1-1 starts as his 2-2 starts. So he is a full round of upgrades up on me. That could be very big indeed. And he's even getting his command center before me. Now I've noticed that I've been staying a little bit ahead of him in the food count though. And sure enough, my army's a little bit bigger, which is really surprising because I've been cutting corners to get Colossi out faster and to get these upgrades out faster. Of course, I guess he's been cutting those same corners. He is actually ahead of me by 1 worker. That spells trouble for my state of income. His is so much better than mine. That should allow him to get this production out and then just really jump ahead of me in this army count here. He is catching up to me pretty quick. You can see he's on about 2 Marines, 3 Marauders at a time. Yeah, that looks right. 3 techs, 1 reactor. And now the medevacs can begin. So I like most of his timing here. This is pretty nice. He played a little bit greedy, but at the same time, he's going to have a very strong bio force. And the timing with this medevac, it's not an early timing, but it is a very powerful timing because he's added these upgrades to it. And he's got the backbone for some great economy leading out of this. Now it looks like I'm going to go ahead and try to take my 3rd as well, right when he's floating it out that direction. So the army count, yeah, sure enough, his production is letting him take the lead here. The army count, with that 2nd Colossi coming out, I just now jumped back ahead of him, but he's getting a higher value army. Ooh, and I like my timing too. I have the Twilight Council up, ready for, oh, come on now. Ready for 2-2, right? Tell me I'm going to go fast 2-2. There it is. Not too much of a delay. There's the armor anyway. I'm waiting on the gas for, or the weapons, I mean. I'm waiting on the gas for the armor. Actually, I was waiting on minerals, weren't I? Yes, I was. There the armor goes, and I'm also lining up a Zealot charge. Now, I am pretty Zealot heavy. Really seeing that he went heavy into upgrades, I kind of knew that I wasn't going to need a huge stalker count early, because I knew that these would be late. And it looks like I got really lucky just with my move-out timing. and caught a couple of his medevacs. I think those were his first 2 medevacs. Now he sees that, and he's instantly going for a counterattack, which is really interesting. I guess it was my Colossus count that scared him. It scared him into thinking that he couldn't take me head on, though, which I think overall is probably smart, because I do have a good sentry count. I just now got Zealot charged, and I've got 3 Colossi. This is a really early timing for 3 Colossi. So he's going to try to base race me here. He's got a nice chunk of Marauders. It looks like he's abandoning his natural, which I think is a good idea. And he needs to really keep this production going if this base race thing is going to work. Now, instantly noticing that it's a base race, it looks like I've yanked some probes out from my natural. But I'm leaving most of them there to mine as much money as possible, so that once this base race happens, I can still do some stuff. I'm still competent. I still have enough economy to come back into the game. Now, it looks like I did kill a couple SCVs, but I'm going to have to focus here now. I'm going to have to pull it together to ensure that I can actually take his army out. Because this is just his base defense army. This is not... I guess it's kind of bigger than his primary force, so I guess I could say that that's his primary force. But his army is over here, stemmed almost to death, wiping me out. And he took out all the pylons quickly. That's a really smart move. In any kind of a base race scenario, the quicker you disable their base's ability to give them any kind of benefit, the better you're going to come out on the back end of it. Of course, also killing what he has still standing is a big part of it. And it looks like I'm not looking. Oh, this is nasty. Okay, there's some force fields. That's decent. I did not pull that Colossus back. That is horrible. I still have 2, though. 2 is a decent number. 2 can even deal pretty well with Marauders, so long as you've got force fields on your side. This is a really paltry-looking force, though. And, oh, I love my spread. Look at this. I've got some pylons in different places. I escaped with even more workers. That's awesome. And it looks like they have a order to just hold position. Oh, and I've been doing warp ins. I really like that. Now he has a real formidable force here still. You can tell by minerals he's way up on me. Leaving depots to burn. That's cool. What did he see here? He didn't see exactly where I went. He did not see my forces. Oh, he's bringing his home now. He's decided that he's disabled my base enough that he can regroup and try to ensure he gets me killed. Oh, the reinforcements have been warping in. What a terrible pathing. They are not going to make it. A couple force fields. Looks like some force fields just thrown out in spite. He does not yet know about... ooh, and I like how quickly I'm getting a base operational again. Since I did have the warp gate research, I don't need a cyber core to go ahead and go back to warp gates. Although all I'll be able to build... Actually, do I still have my cyber core? I do still have the cyber core. Interesting. I was thinking for sure that I lost that, so I can actually still warp in my 3 main gateway units. He did finish 2-2 before that base race really kicked off, though, and I did not. I'm stuck on 1-1. That'll make this pack of infantry very formidable, especially seeing this discrepancy in army value. I did save a lot more workers than he did, and that's what allows our food count to look somewhat equal. And apparently, yeah, he still hasn't found the main base. He's just going around getting little bits of the outer parts. He's got to know that I still have somewhat of an army, a couple Colossi at least, but he probably thinks that I don't have anything operational. And now I've even brought probes back to my main base, which is awesome. Oh, and now he knows what I'm up to. Now he sees the army yet again as it trundles in to fully disable his base. I probably should have left a couple zealots up here, but the number of forces that he had at home kind of worried me. Made me think that he was going to be able to defend ultimately. I like how I'm keeping sentries at the back too. If he tries to come in to save his base, I can force field and at least buy myself time to hopefully kill all these buildings. Now he's floating a lot off, which could be dangerous because there are parts of the map that you can get out of stalker range with. So he could force me to have to use an air unit to kill the rest of his buildings. Oh, nice. Delaying. Using some sentries. Oh, it's not going to matter, though. Oh, yeah, he has drop ships. You can't force a Terran anything with force fields when he has drop ships. I guess I can keep those out as long as possible. And I think from there I probably just started ignoring that base. It's as good as gone. I am still doing warp-ins, and oh, yeah, we can see that my army is catching right up now. And actually, I have surpassed the amount of workers that I was able to keep out. Is going to allow me to get back in really quickly. So base race culmination here. He is going to take out all the rest of my main. His main is totally sacked. And then it's going to come down to this huge pack of 2-2 Marauders. Ooh, and very low energy medevacs. Against the standing army that I have and what I can warp in. Oh, he's even supply blocked me and killing off the rest of the pylons in my base. Fairly badly, too. That's, especially when I'm this low economy, that's really costly. Oh, and it looks like I built a couple but didn't get myself out of it. A couple more needed. Oh man, that's horrible. That's keeping my production down for a while, although I can't really say I've got the money for it. He can't do anything either because he does not have these supply depots, and actually he's totally out of SCVs, isn't he? He didn't save a single SCV, so he can't build a supply depot until he can lose enough army that he can build an SCV, which he can only supply 11 right now because the command center is the only supply he has. He needs to lose like almost all of this army before he can build an SCV. And there he scans. That's kind of weird because I guess there's not really much he can do, so the mule doesn't really make sense. But there he scans to see what I've got, and here he's going to go for it. I've got quite a few charge lots, and charge lots are amazing against Marauders, but I got to still kind of be careful. Ooh, I like it, the force fields. Yep, that is going to do it. That is definitely going to do it. The army count shows. I lost about 400 when he lost about 15. And yep, there goes the GG. Overall loss, that did favor him, of course, with the economic opening he did and everything, and how quickly he got on his feet, and how quickly he got mass production up. He produced more than me, so it makes sense that he would lose more, if I indeed came out on top. Alright, let's take a look at the score screen real fast. So there she be. Economy breakdown shows, sure enough, as a Terran, having more workers created than your Protoss opponent means that your macro is gonna be better. It's gonna be stronger. You're gonna have more going. In case, I should say unless some kind of huge harass went on. My BS force field and Colossi usage allowed me to take a pretty good kill count there. Army value shows that this Colossi timing I had, I probably should have done a push a little bit earlier, like even with the first two Colossi. I kind of lined it up with my 1-1 though, and I think the push happened before his 2-2 was finished, although he ended up getting his 2-2 done, you know, before the base race was complete anyway. And here you can see that macro that I was talking about the whole time. His economy was set up to do way better things than mine. And honestly, sending out that counterattack, I think if he would have just tried to flank me with that, he probably would have got more done. If he would have just flanked me with the 15 or so Marauders that he sent to my base, he probably could have crushed my army. The army value in that stage, this is around when that happened. Actually, no, hold on. This would be around when I went into his base, when he was defending with just half of his army. Alright, well anyway, you see the story, you saw the entire fully detailed play out. So thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more.